Dust off your chequebook. Britain's newest car took to the roads today, and with only 3 wheels, the new Morgan is something of a throwback.
Yes, back in 1909, the Worcestershire company's founder, Harry Morgan, designed his first car, a 3-wheeled runabout, and many more were to follow. 3-wheelers seem to be linked with this region. It was in Tamworth that Reliant turned out their cars in big numbers, fondly recalled by many owners, but the butt of jokes too, of course. Remember Del Boy's Reliant in Only Fools and Horses? Well, now Morgan has returned to its heritage with a 3-wheeler that'll put a smile on your face for all the right reasons, as our business correspondent Peter Plisner has been finding out.
OK, driving with goggles on doesn't quite do it for me, but this car certainly does. Despite having fewer wheels than conventional vehicles, the Morgan 3 drives extremely well. It represents a walk back in time for the Malvern-based car maker. This rare footage shows the original Morgan 3-wheeler being put through its paces in a hill climbing competition. This is one of the original Morgan 3-wheelers, this one designed and built in the 1930s. This is the modern version, the Morgan 3. As you can see, the company stayed true to its tradition. At the factory, the first cars are already being built. They're expecting to build around 400 of them every year.
It's still got a lot of charm, and actually it doesn't take itself too seriously. At the end of the day, it's a proper sports car, and you can go and have a complete hoot in this thing.
And that's exactly what members of the motoring press were doing today at Malvern. By all accounts, they liked what they saw.
It's come at a time when a lot of modern cars are a bit too sanitised. They're covered in safety, they're covered in luxury. You know, there's too much to a car now. This actually strips all that back.
We're ahead of AC Cobra, we're ahead of Lotus.
For Morgan's chief executive, the new model has the potential to deliver a new, younger car buyer to the 100-year-old brand.
I think where the 3-wheeler is quite interesting is it, if you like, gets into that motorbike culture a little bit. And of course the sales of motorbikes like Triumph, Harley Davidson, Ducati have actually increased enormously over the last 10 years. We hope that the 3-wheeler is seen a bit like that. And of course those sort of things really appeal to young people.
500 pre-orders are already on the books, which means that, like previous cars from Morgan, it should be in great demand.
Peter joins us now without the goggles. When are we going to see these Morgan 3s on the road then, Peter?
Well, Nick, at the moment they're in the pre-production stage where they produce cars for testing purposes, and indeed journalists like myself get to drive those. Full production starts in September. Only then will you start to see these cars appearing in showrooms and indeed fulfilling those 500 pre-orders. Now, having driven that car today, I can say that it probably will sell very well. It's pretty efficient. Morgans say that it does 45 to 50 miles to the gallon, so it's obviously going to be low emission as well, which should make it popular, and good news for the company itself. Now, of course, it's good news for the West Midlands, because I'm told that the majority of parts going into this car are also made here in this region. So good news for the components firms who suffered during the recession.
Yeah, indeed. And Peter, you clearly enjoyed yourself in it, didn't you? But how much are they going to cost? Can we afford one of these lovely cars? And do you get the goggles as well with one? I'm intrigued by that.
Well, it is cheaper than the average Morgan, I have to say. A starting price around £25,000 plus VAT. The average Morgan about 30 to 40,000. Most of them will be exported. 70% of Morgans go abroad.
You might have to buy your own goggles though. Thanks very much indeed, Peter.
How is it Morgan driving weather?
Yeah, indeed.
To tell us.